Today we're going to learn about probability. Probability is the study of the likelihood of an event. Now, an event can be a real-life situation, such as whether or not it may rain on a certain day, or it could even be a game, such as Scrabble or using dice. Probability focuses on conducting experiments using materials, such as dice, playing cards, and coins. We use them to collect data that can be used to measure the probability of an event, or how likely something is to occur. Here is a probability problem. There are 3 times as many oranges as apples in a basket. What is the probability of picking an apple? The first thing we need to do is to make a prediction. You might predict that it is possible to choose an apple from the basket because there are apples in the basket. You might also say that it's unlikely to choose an apple because there are more oranges than apples in the basket. As I said before, we need to conduct experiments to determine probability. In this case, we can use the spinner to represent picking an apple or orange from the basket without looking. I have our prediction already written there, so we said that picking an apple is possible, but it also is unlikely because of the fact that there are more oranges. If we spin this spinner about 12 times, that will give us a reasonable amount of data to record, and we can use a tally chart to record our results as we spin our spinner. So after spinning the spinner, these could be our possible results. We spin orange 8 times and we spin apple 3 times. So out of the total number of spins, which was 12, we only spun apple 3 times, which represents us only choosing an apple 3 times from the basket. In this case, our experiment has shown that our prediction is correct. Picking an apple is possible, but it's unlikely. Looking back at this basket, we can describe probability in many ways. For instance, if we look at the oranges, we might say that it is likely for us to choose an orange because there are many in the basket. If we look at the apples, we might say that it's unlikely because there are few apples in the basket. We might say the probability of picking a fruit is certain because there are only fruits in the basket. And picking a banana might be said as impossible because there are no bananas in the basket. Sometimes when we work with probability, it's best if we list all the possible outcomes of an event. For instance, when we're rolling a dice, it would be beneficial to list the outcomes. Take a look at this problem. We want to know who would win the game. If we roll a number greater than 4, or if we roll a number less than 5. When we roll a dice, the possible outcomes are to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. If we were to roll a number greater than 4, the only 2 outcomes would be 5 and 6. If we roll a number less than 5, then we can roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4. In this case, we're more likely to win if we roll a number less than 5. So that doesn't make this game very fair. Can you see a way that we could change this so that we do have a fair game? If we changed it to say rolling a number 4 or greater, or rolling a number 3 or less, then we would have a fair game. The possible outcomes for 4 or greater would be 4, 5, and 6. The possible outcomes for 3 or less would be 3, 2, 1. Now we have 3 numbers possible for each, making it a fair game. In conclusion, students will conduct probability experiments to collect data that can be used to either predict probability, describe probability, or measure probability.